the overall lead.
And finally, we're getting the results we want.
Loeb takes his first stage win of the year.
Les trois Audi perfo, Nasser toujours.
Three rallies are performing. Nasser's there, Al Raji, a lot of people. Tom catches Jerry. Goshal makes it triumph number 4.
In the start, we play some Tom and Jerry with Mitch, but I think I am a fast Tom and, and we win some time.
What an amazing race. As we get closer to the empty quarter, fatigue is starting to have an effect on the original bimodal riders. Libor Padmol had a close encounter with the hard terrain of Saudi.
I'm sorry,
You hit your head.
Yeah.
It bleeds quite a bit.
Fuck.
He crashed. He got back up. He has blood on his brow and it's bleeding quite a bit. I don't know how hard he was hit.
Have you pain somewhere?
No, I'm alright. I'm actually everything okay. I think I'm gonna go. No?
Too much blood, too much. No, push.
Okay. Are you guys stopped right now? They give you the
Now
time
we
back.
have to wait for them. They will tell us, okay, if we can go. But we're not leaving till they're here. Okay?
Okay. I want to go, but the boys didn't let me. Late tonight.
Okay. Hey, sit down here, please.
Yes.
Hop, don't move, huh? Move. Okay. 2 points. Up.
Okay.
And check to medical center this evening.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you very much. This is my Shichka. Thank you.
Meanwhile, somewhere else in the desert.
Hello, my friend.
The gentleman is a doctor and he gave him a scarf.
If we don't move, how is the pain?
A little bit pain.
But you fall down, so it could be fracture. Il a une fracture de la clavicule à gauche. Je pense qu'il a dû
He
jardiner.
broke his collarbone on the left. He's looking for it this way and probably fell on the left-hand side and fractured his collarbone.
En ambulance vers la SS et puis.
We're going to take him to the ambulance, to a special area, and thankfully press the green button so someone could come and collect the bike.
8 times Dakar. Before I want to finish 7 times, but now finish. First stage finish. Wow. Dakar is Dakar, huh? Same the life. Sometimes good, sometimes little bit bad. But yeah.
Be careful.
Okay.
The earliest start so far of Dakar 2024. The top bikers began filling out at the bivouac at 4:45 a.m., embarking on the long journey to the empty quarter, a monster liaison of 500 kilometers. You heard that right. Well, today's fifth stage is a hugely important one because at the start of tomorrow's 48-hour chrono, the 17 Rally GP riders will go off in reverse order, with today's winner starting last. For once, there's no downside to taking the honours. So, gentlemen, prepare to start your engines. You might look at the length of today's special, just 118 kilometres, and think that it'll be a pretty straightforward day out. But after riding for over 5 hours just to reach the start line, fatigue is going to be a factor. It's then 100% in the dunes, taking the riders to Shabata and the doors of the empty quarter. Look at it. Nacho Cornejo was the first man out of the gate today, but after 50 kilometres, he was caught by his teammate Ricky Brabec. The two Honda riders did a fine job opening, staying out in front until the finish. The American said it was good fun, enjoying some motocross-style trade-offs at the front. It's pretty easy to follow the lines in the dunes, though, so they dropped some time. Nacho finished 12th, Ricky 7th. They're now second and third overall. When things go wrong in the dunes, they tend to go really wrong, and poor old Konrad Dabrowski already had an electrical problem at refueling, delaying his restart by 7 minutes. He was then stopped in his tracks by a misbehaving fuel pump, and Dust teammate Jakob Albright looking to help.
Próbuję walczyć do końca. Dopóki mogę, to będę próbował naprawić.
I will fight to the end.
To dojadę do mety.
If not, it's the end of my Dakar, he says.
There you go. To się kończy mój Dakar.
Keep on. Yes, they're just a bitch.
To akurat było dobre.
But I think it should be okay.
Okay, we'll get the next one.
It's in my...
Keep believing, Konrad. It was also a rotten day for John Barredo, who hasn't had much luck in this Dakar. The Spaniard crashed after jumping an early dune and broke his roadbook tower, meaning he had to wait and follow other riders. He finished as the last of the 17 Rally GP riders, so he'll be opening the 48-hour chrono stage tomorrow. Luciano Benavides also said it was a bad day, even if he came home inside the top 10. The world champion had technical trouble with his Husqvarna, stopping several times. But though he stuttered his way through certain passages, he only dropped 4.5 minutes. You suspect it could have been an awful lot worse. He needs to count his blessings. It was a tough day. I was going very well, he says, but my engine just stopped. I didn't have any power, and then it stopped again, so we have to check out what the problem is, but it does not look good, he says. Ross Branch described this as the hardest sand stage on the Dakar in a long time. And he should know. Relieved to make it through unscathed, and after 90 kilometres, he was caught by the charging Adrian van Beveren and followed him to the finish. The Botswana was 6th on the day and did enough to recover the overall lead from Cornejo. That's got to be a good thing.
It's always good to be on top, and it's so good for the team as well. They've worked really hard this past year. But yeah, it's a long rally, and we're not going to focus on that now. You know, we just got to get to the finish of every day and finish well every day.
Mason Klein's wacky Dakar continued today as he stormed to 5th place in the new Cove, which has caused him so many mechanical headaches since the start of the rally. The American used to hate the dunes, but says he's learning to appreciate things sometimes that he struggles with. And considering that they were working on the bike until late in the night, this was a fine effort, only 3 minutes down on the day's winner. Dally Sanders took his best result since coming second on the prologue, gliding his gas to 4th place. Well, the Aussie described the stage as short, hot and fast, and he's excited to be in a good position to attack on the big one tomorrow and the day after, of course. His weekend, or his weakened femur, excuse me, is giving him a bit of trouble, but he's managing to keep it in one piece, in his own words, I should say. Toby Price said it had to be a super careful day, with some drops in the desert today, and he had a few nervy moments, but the Australian powered through to the finish, his best result so far. Rice admitted he made too many mistakes to be right up there with the front runners, but he's also by no means out of the game. 8th overall. Adrian van Beveren was full of praise for his Honda, saying it performs amazingly in these conditions and that all the hard work done by the factory is paying off. The Frenchman is a sand lover and a bit of a fun today he was having in front of the cameras, even if he ultimately denied the stage victory. But second place means that he'll be in a great position to attack tomorrow, and he most certainly will. He looks relaxed, in control of his destiny. Let's see. Van Beveren was outgunned by his teammate Paulo Quintanilla, who set off in 18th place. The Chilean had a couple of bad days with an unfortunate speeding penalty robbing him of victory on stage 3, but he was clearly a man on a mission here, and despite some visibility issues, he finished 37 seconds clear of VBA, which put him in the driving seat for the 48-hour chrono stage. That's a good thing.
Empujado al máximo, di mi 100%.
Well, I gave it my all, pushing 100% in the early kilometres. I felt really good. I had a fun day playing with the bike, with the result as well. I'll be setting off at the back tomorrow of all the favourites, so I should be able to gain a few minutes in the overall standings. That's a 7th Dakar stage victory for Quintanilla and another Honda 1-2. Elsewhere, a fine effort for privateer Stefan Zvitko to come 8th, just ahead of Luciano Benavides. Branch is back on top overall, followed by Corneco and Brabec. Van Beveren is up to 4th ahead of Kevin Benavides, and Quintanilla making it 4 Hondas in the top 6. Well, the top Rally 2 rider today was Tobias Ebster in 10th. A pretty remarkable effort considering he's also doing original by Motul. The Austrian is a nephew of Dakar great Heinz Kindergartner, but as you're about to hear, he's keen to write his own story, the world's biggest rally.
Okay, hey, here I come. I'm the nephew of Dakar legend. I don't do that because I want to make my own name. I want to print my own footsteps, of course. With Kindergartner as my uncle, it was like in my bloodline that I gotta go racing. He tried it 7 times, he never finished. So of course, at my first one, when I can finish, I'm going straight to Heinz. I'm like, I've done it. It started like 21 years ago when my father made me a birthday present, and there was a KTM 50 CCM bike on the table, and immediately after the first ride I was in love with it. I think it's going to be tough, but I think it's going to be even tougher. It's adventure. It's like back in the 90s, you have nothing. You have no support, no nothing. And the second thing, of course, it's much cheaper than going with the team. Of course, I get a lot of support, but let's say not that much of support. I still have 2 jobs to work at home. I'm still working as carpenter and pizza delivery man, so I have to save some money, save some costs. It's pretty funny because a lot of people know me already, and when I'm delivering pizzas, they're like, oh, I know you from the newspaper or from the TV, so this is pretty funny. Just because I want to go to Dakar doesn't mean I just want to go there for one time or do it as a one-hit wonder or something like that. Of course, in the future, I want to become a Dakar champion. So I'm the newcomer, let's say, the junior. I think in the future we're going to be the stars of the sport, of course. Winning 2024 Malimoto class. That's the goal. I am a warrior, I know that. Most of the people don't know it, that they are warriors, and nothing is impossible. The only thing that's impossible is you're gonna tell this in your mind. And with the biggest meaning is like this one, the W. It's from my grandfather. He died on cancer in my arms in 2018. And I was talking a lot to him, and he was like, do it, because you have the ambitions, you have the speed, you have the talent, and when you're in this place where I am right now, you don't want to be here as an old guy and asking yourself what could have happened if I've done it.
Squint your eyes and you'll see the quads careening into the empty quarter. The W2 RC reigning champion fighting hard to stay relevant. As Vidias Kanikus, while trucking along, but no podium place to speak of. Fourth on the day, the Lithuanian disappearing from the overnight site nearly 2 hours down. Manuel Adujar is the quad to catch, a 21-minute cushion in the general standings. But it's not been easy.
Dakar this year started really hard. We had the first 2 days was terrible for the bodies, for the quad.
Left in the 2021 champions dust yesterday, Alex Giraud this time was ahead of his Argentine rival, yet he was consistent in the second successive day, this time chasing down and dashing Dune crusher Marcelo Medeiros. Only a minute ahead of Adujar, but Giraud couldn't budge or bridge the gap to the Brazilian special leader. Dust in the dunes playing havoc, and not the time to take undue risks, I think it's fair to say. The Frenchman knows he's in a real battle with more than just one threat out there. There are plenty.
I win 2 times the Dakar, and this years Andorra want to win again, and it's a big fight with him. But don't forget another concurrent.
Wise words indeed, as Marcelo Medeiros fired back. 4 seconds faster than Giraud by the first waypoint, and over the short 118 clicks, the Brazilian shone brightest. After 2 tough stages, Medeiros back on top, just 2 minutes and 26 seconds, separating a terrific trio. It's looking like a 3-horse race for the quad crown. Meanwhile, the Argentine Adujar remains in control with a decent cushion. But how will things be come the end of 48 hours in the wilderness?
Beautiful business.
After the semi-marathon stage yesterday, the cars finally returned to the main bivouac. But Seth Quintero's Toyota Gazoo Racing Hilux didn't return under its own power. The American was running second, hit a rock, which bent the chassis, which in turn broke the engine mounting, forcing him to stop.
So today didn't really go the way we wanted it to go. Ran into a little bit of an issue at kilometer 68, but all things considered, we felt really good today. But yeah, that's just kind of how Dakar goes, how racing goes. You know, incidents happen, and it is what it is. You know, unfortunately, a mechanical issue takes us out this year, but we got a lot more racing left, a lot more fun to have, and you know, a lot of learning to do. So it's going to be a good time. We got 8 more days to go, so I mean, we got plenty of time to go have some fun racing, get some championship points for not just Toyota, but for myself, and just enjoy it. So we'll see what happens.
Well, the team had repaired the chassis and replaced the engine overnight, but a 20-hour time penalty puts Quintero out of the battle. Putting himself in the overall battle yesterday was Sebastian Loeb, winning stage 4. He says it's always nice to get a stage victory. It really hasn't been easy since the beginning of the rally, and we've had a very complicated specials, quite a few of them. And they're rocky, mechanical troubles, and we've had 3 punctures yesterday. They've been tough days, so when things go well, we're a lot happier to get to the bivouac. That's Alataya, finished 3rd on the stage and is 11 minutes back from the lead.
We are really quite happy, you know, to be again in the top 3 in overall. Yeah, just learning many things with the new car, and I think with the sand dune next 3 days will be good for us.
Martin Prokop ended stage 5 in a strong 9th position, moving him up to 12th overall. It set the stage of strategy, and yeah, finishing from today's stage will decide the order, I should say. The starting positions for tomorrow's 48-hour chrono. And that means that the drivers are considering losing time on today's 118-kilometre stage in order to be in a better place for the 626 kilometres coming up over the next 2 days. Well, Carlos Sainz was running second overall, was one of those who favoured to be a little further back in the pack tomorrow, and he ended the stage 15th fastest. In so doing, he lost second place overall, but the wily Spaniard knows he's more than capable of making up for lost ground. He'll be clever. Well, since he won the opening stage in 2024, things have quite gone the way of Guillaume de Mévius. Certainly not way he would have wanted to, and he's leading most of the stage 3 when the drive shaft broke. 10th overall, coming into stage 5. An impressive third place sees him climb 2 positions up to 8th. He's 42 minutes from the lead. Well, today was really difficult. He says super intense. It was only 100 kilometres, but super intense and physically difficult. But we're happy to be here and manage third place, but there's a lot of strategy to be played out. Juan Cruz Jacopini's pace has not shone through just yet in this Dakar until today. The man from Mendoza finished 3rd in the W2 RC Championship last year, 7th in the Dakar, but so far this year his best result was 12th on the opening day. 3rd across the line today, though, is comfortably the Argentine's best so far, although he still leaves him in 22nd overall. Also been a rally of travails for Gerland Schischerit. He picked up a puncture while running second on day 1 and was leading on stage 3 when his engine overheated, and he had to use all of the drinking water just to cool it down. Thirsty stuff. So no such trouble today. Finished 3rd in the Hilux after winning yesterday's opening round in stage 5. His pace wasn't amazing for Sebastian Loeb, but perfectly acceptable considering that he was first to venture out in the dunes. But the Frenchman intentionally missed one of the waypoints towards the end of the stage, which automatically brought him a 15-minute penalty. A tactical move by the Frenchman, apparently. Well, Nasser didn't ask himself any questions because nobody else is here, and he managed a good time. That means he decided to attack. But there's no management there, so he wanted to start first tomorrow. He's confident. I wouldn't have done that, but we don't have the same experience of the desert. You're not going to teach anything to Nasser in the dunes. He's on his terrain, so that's the way he wants to play it. I prefer to stay behind, says Sebastian.
Essayer de jouer la trace derrière.
Going to chase the traces left in the sand, presumably by Nasser. Nasser Al-Attiyah was not playing games. The rally leader, Yassid Al-Raji, is certainly the Qatari's target, and he was pushing from the off. This was Al-Raji opening his account with the ProDrive Hunter. A dominant performance, almost 2 minutes.
For me, there is no
the lead here is Al-Attiyah.
I need to win the stage. Doesn't matter what happened, you know, because it's a long, tomorrow it's a 600 kilometer. I don't care if I open the road, if I lose time, but I need to manage to finish all the 600 kilometer. You know, it's very important.
He could do it. 4th on the stage for Yassid Al-Raji is enough to keep him and his lead in the overall rally. The Saudi continues his consistency. The Overdrive Racing Toyota man played the tactics beautifully, taking it steady, but still setting a quick time. His worst result is still 8th place in the first stage of the Dakar, and he is running up at the front tomorrow, but crucially, not opening the road. He's been brilliant all year. It's going on.
Sure, very happy. We don't push today. We don't want to open tomorrow. That's our plan. And when we see Loop in the stage, we decide with Timo what you think, slow or... He tell no, go. I think somebody come open the stage tomorrow. And sure, I think now, until now, we are doing well job, great. And tomorrow, different day. Tomorrow, we push and see what's going on.
Al-Raji is now 9 minutes ahead of the pack, but Al-Attiyah is the man bearing down upon him. Mathieu Serradori is still doing a superb job in 5th, but the order could turn on its head in the next 2 days. Let's see.
Hello, my name is Fabien Lurquin, co-driver of Sebastian Loeb on the Dakar, and I'm going to try to explain you pretty quick and easily the navigation side on the Dakar. Let's show you a little bit of what we have inside the car. So basically I have two big devices on which I have what we call the road book. It shows you the total mileage, what I should encounter at kilometer 85.17. This is the mileage in between that note and the previous one. And for example, leaving this waypoint here, I have to follow all those notes with some heading. Watch out to those big dangers. Follow those headings in those little river wed, as we call that, to get another small waypoint there, 20 km further.
Right into the valley, cap 130.
Il est bien là, hein? Là c'est bon, c'est ouvert. Donc là c'est cap 330. Quand tu l'as validé.
At 800 meters, you cross two pistes, caution 2 under the power line. The gear bumpy, caution 2 times, 2 pistes.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah. We should have got a waypoint.
Follow me, I'll explain what a waypoint is. We have different kind of waypoints to catch on the Dakar during a stage. Let's say we have 200 waypoints per stage, and we have basically waypoints of 300 meters radius and 800 meters radius. We have here, to scale, a waypoint of 800 meters radius, altogether that made 1.6 kilometer. And when I hit this waypoint with the car, the arrow will show me the very center where I have to go to catch the waypoint until I can proceed to the next waypoint. And let's say we have to find another waypoint at the same size, 15 km away. That's how it looks to scale. So as you can see, you have the perfect heading, and I can only deviate by 3 degrees on each side if I don't want to miss it. Well, to keep your concentration level up for around 500 km, that basically makes 5 or 6 hours in a row, knowing that you make little mistakes all the time, but avoid creating big mistakes. So that's it. Thank you very much. See ya.
Boston since 1907.
Australia. No. No.
Venga, papá.
Vamos allá, cariño.
Let's go, Dad.
Podemos hacer
Let's see if we can manage a good one.
tranquilo, o sea, porque ahora ya no tenemos nada que ganar y mucho que
Let's
perder,
take it
¿vale?
real easy today,
Me parece bien.
because there's nothing to win and a lot to lose.
C'est pas grave. Et il y a l'autre juste derrière.
Not serious, he's overtaken us. Drop him behind. Doesn't matter, let's ride together.
Là, je suis plus OK, là.
I'm no longer okay.
Je suis plus OK, on n'est pas sur...
I'm not okay. We should have hit a waypoint.
Demi-tour? Ouais.
Should have turned back.
Pourtant, on dirait qu'il y a des traces.
There's lots of tracks here.
Hein?
C'est nous qui les avons faites. Normalement, on aurait dû passer il y a un passage.
No, we did those tracks. Normally they're a narrow passage, always the main sinuous track. Don't have a heavy.
Tenemos que ir así, ¿vale?
You need to go that way, okay?
Más duro, ¿lo ves? Vale, vale.
Yeah, but that's a lot tougher that way. Well done.
On va dans les dunes?
There's a strange noise. It's a belt. It's a bad noise. Let's stop and have a look.
Elle fait un sale bruit. Il y a un truc. On s'arrête voir.
¿Ha saltado la extinción?
The extinguisher just went off.
Está saltando la extinción.
What extinguisher?
Yo creo.
It's popping out, I think.
¿Qué es eso?
No, es algo del turbo.
escuchas
Do
algo?
you hear anything? I think it might be the turbo.
Se ha soltado algo del turbo o algo.
Can you see anything? I'm okay. It's already night for you. With these goggles, it is night. Just keep going. You're in the desert, my friend.
Crazy day. At the news at the end, so nice.
I was behind your father coming in,
yeah,
and I got a good line on fresh sand, and I walked over past him.
Yeah, nice. But it was such a nice hard news. We just got 50. Oh, then just flagged the car.
Beautiful. My co-driver keeps saying, once it drops, once it drops.
Watch the grass, it always tells.
Yeah. The grass is
good to meet you.
Yeah, you too, man. Fair play, well done so far.
In the bivouac, it's bustling. Work never stops.
When you think it's going to be a relatively simple stage in Dakar, it's always a bit different. So, but a bit disappointed today. We got caught up in the difficult navigation. But that's Dakar. Every day's a new challenge. I think now the race starts to go into the empty quarter. Everyone keeps telling me how stunning it is, and I love driving in the dunes. So, looking forward to that.
What looks like a short, uncomplicated day is quite the opposite. Dangers are hidden in the sand dunes of the empty quarter. Rokas Bikuska got through the 118-kilometre special seemingly unscathed. The Lithuanian and his Can-Am briefly fourth before losing time in the finale. Al Saif, best performance of the Dakar, taking confidence ahead of the 48-hour chrono in the 023G rally. While having equalled his personal record on the four stage wins, a record, Eric Gauchal was navigated to a podium finish today. Meanwhile, defending champion AJ has been incredibly consistent, and despite not having the best of luck at times, he started the day fourth overall, the American soaring through the stage standings from 9th to end second. And like a bull unleashed, Jellicoe Lopez loves nothing more than testing his skills, and he added to his armory over a 35-year period, I guess you might say. The master of the sand dunes, Lopez, takes his 23rd Dakar stage victory, the empty quarter, fulfilling his ambitions. Well, the day went well. We really enjoyed it. It was short but very technical. It's the first day that we had a clean stage, and so we're happy. 3 men separated by 3 seconds at waypoint 1, but in the end, the gap was just over 2 minutes to second and third. Lopez opens things up tomorrow in the unprecedented 48-hour chrono. Gauchal Jr. still leads family 1-2 in the overall, but with a cushy lead. Jellicoe comes into fourth after an impressive performance. Dakar is long and torturous, yet addictive. It's a passion. João Ferreira has been through it all and said today almost punctured his SSV title dreams. Yet the support of co-driver Felipe Palmeiro has been vital. Victory on stage 4.
We lost 1 hour, and after it's stage 4 we are down to 30 minutes, so we still have 8 stages to go, so it's still a very long race. Everything can happen. We will continue to push with our same pace and try to do no mistakes.
Well, preparing for the turnaround with the top-ranked T4 out first on stage 5. Yet a big fall from a dune, broke one rear arm and the target of back-to-back wins. João and Felipe feeling like they're back to square one, I guess you might say. Tough times for the South Racing Can-Am. Meanwhile, Jared Ferres was in control with the 14 minutes in hand, and then disaster. Ferres struck at 84 kilometres of the special. His Can-Am went belly up. The accident will take a heavy toll on his aspirations. He's waiting for support crew. One of the main pain, you might say, of Jerome Sadalia's gain. A massive relief for the Swiss just to be competing again at the Dakar after injury robbed him last year. No special win, but third, enough to see the MMP team head into the SSV train in the general rankings. Well, someone's having the time of his life is Yasser Saidan. Yasser, he can boogie, and he did. The home driver is having the best run in the Dakar. No wonder he said he was having fun out there. Soft sand helping to propel the Saudi and his co-driver Adrian Metsch to the finish, and on something of a high, but just beaten to top spot. Polaris proving versatile, and Xavier de Soultre beat Saidan by just 74 seconds. A broken gearbox on stage 3 could have been fatal, but that's the way it is here. You can swing back. Adding to his prologue success, de Soultre has been getting to know the competition. Well, we're starting to get familiar with our rivals, maybe not friends, but we always chat. I think that we did well. The RZR does beautiful things in the dunes. De Soultre adding to his prologue success, but it is de Sadaliers who leads the Dakar category, and this time just 30 minutes between the top 7. One of those is Sarah Price, humble but ambitious, yet amazing. Let's get to know the American.
I didn't come here not to compete. I know it's not easy. I know it takes a lot to get a good result. I would love to make history being the first American female to win the Dakar Rally. So I actually got into motorsports when I was 8 years old, when I got my first dirt bike. And so I did motocross first on 2 wheels. I turned professional at 16. I wanted to make it my entire life for as long as I could make it. But as you know, on a dirt bike, it comes with cost, and that's your body. But when I transferred into 4 wheels, it just kept climbing, and went into trophy trucks, racing Baja. I've done all sorts of different disciplines, and now I am with Can-Am, racing my dream. Now, I come from racing where it's like pedal to the metal, let's go fast, right? In this, it's a lot about patience, and I think it's a lot about the navigation. It's the end game, it's the strategy, it's the play it smart card. Maybe being a female, we have less of a hot head on our shoulders, where we're able to kind of mellow out our thoughts and kind of be on this neutral level playing field.
Sarah also has a secret weapon.
I'm surrounded by it, you know, Dakar and what he does in training, and, you know, I have access to tons of road books through him. He told me not to be a slouch on the first day, and I was like, listen, I've never done this.
Yeah, I know it's a long race, so it's like you can't be bummed. We finished. We didn't have any big disastrous things happen.
Girlfriend, of course, of 2020 Dakar winner, Ricky Brabeck.
And what I mean by that is, like, I don't want to send it off a dune and destroy my whole front end, or be out of the rally because of that. When will I win it? I don't know. I don't know. The first year, I feel like if you go to Dakar and you think you're going to win that first year, it's going to humble you up real fast. So I'm going into Dakar humble. I want to make sure that I finish my first year, and if that's a good result, then bring it. That's amazing. I would absolutely love that.
Sarah Price and Ricky Brabeck. It's royalty, isn't it, here? Onto the trucks, and Jannes van Kesteren had lost a bit of time in the dunes today. The rally leader had some engine and gearbox issues, which added up to losses of 23.5 minutes. It's no mean feat guiding a 10-ton behemoth over terrain like this, but ironically, van Kesteren actually increased his overall advantage. That's how good he is. Makes these things fly. Can you believe that? Well, the advantage increased because It was even worse day for Alice Leprace, who shipped nearly 40 minutes. The veteran Czech was celebrating his 44th birthday, but tackling these dunes didn't turn out to be the ideal present. Leprace, well outside the top 10 today and slipping down to 3rd overall. Well, their loss was Martin Maček's gain. The 34-year-old had a clean run to make his first stage victory of this edition and get himself right back in the overall mix. Maček has been impressed with how his technology truck is getting over these dunes, and that bodes very well for next year, or the next few days. He's up to 2nd overall. Well, it was a solid day for Mitchell van den Brinkje, who said he'd been itching to get stuck into the sand. Well, the young Dutchman set off 2nd and was following Van Kesteren until he ran into trouble. And he was first to the finish line, but had to settle for 2nd behind Maček. Still, a positive day for him before heading to the heart of the empty quarter. After competing alongside Van Kesteren and the De Rooij team last year, Van Westijnen was returned to his own outfit in 24. And the Dutchman came as high as 8th in 2022, but retired with engine failure. He's already lost over 3.5 hours this time around, but put in a much improved performance today, 3rd. Westijnen just inside the top 10 overall. But the fun's only just getting started. There's bound to be some big winners and some big losers as the Saudi dust settles on the 48-hour chrono stage. They'll be digging a few of these out. Pascal de Bar was once again the leading Tatra in 4th place. Willem de Groot and Teruhito Sugawara and Anju van Loon making up the top 10. And Kesteren now leads by 22 minutes. The worst nightmare of the Dakar Classic competitors is also the reason why they come to this rally. They come for the challenge of taking on the dunes in vintage vehicles. Actually, when we started going up, the truck was sliding and sliding, and I told him to turn the steering wheel the other way. He didn't, and it was almost like a reflex. He turned to go up, and we had a tumble. It was gentle. That's the way it is. It's only just started. And then comes the Dakar spirit, helping the other, whatever the circumstances.
Navarro, de más arriba.
Hombre, por supuesto. Of course, you always have to stop, even if it takes half an hour. We want them to carry on. Maybe they've got beer, I don't know. Careful opening it tonight. And the race goes on for the French crew and their MAN truck. Meanwhile, the overall standings, Carlos Santa-Orlela still leads the way of the Czech driver Ondřej Klimčič and the 3 Italian crews.
Today we started to take part of the Dakar Future Mission Meal. There's no car like this on the bivouac, I can tell you. My name is Koen Schluter. I'm the co-founder of E-Lions H2. We are a company who building zero-emission solutions for inner cities and for construction companies. This project started in 2018 when we were on a dune of the Dakar Rally in Peru, and there I discussed together with my co-founder Leon Jansen about converting our own Amarok into a zero-emission vehicle to participate in the Dakar Rally zero emission and thereby tell the world that it's possible to drive zero emission, even in the hardest rally in the world. So our plan is to make conversion kits. It's something like IKEA. It should be small building blocks with some connectors in between, suitable for every car to make it from a diesel into a zero-emission vehicle. So we had to develop a lot by ourselves. We take out the engine, but we leave the gearbox in. Therefore, we can use a smaller engine and still keep the torque and the power you need on the wheels. But because of the weight limit of light commercial vehicles on 3.5 tons, it's very difficult to find the right balance between range and the payload which will be there in the end after you have made the conversion. And we want to have a range of minimum 500, 600 kilometers on one charge or one filling. And the big advantage with hydrogen, we can fill up the tanks in only 5 to 10 minutes. The big box on the back, well, that's the fuel cell system. It's a tool which makes a chemical reaction between hydrogen and oxygen that will make water. But by this process, it will also give power to charge the battery. But it's a combination we made from the fuel cell, including the size of the battery pack, the size of the engine, in combination with the gearbox. These different parts behind each other, we are at this moment the only one who are making this. The most challenging is, can we keep the fuel cell running? Because it's very new technology. What's gonna happen when we are driving in the dunes or the rocks or whatever? You never know what kind of situations we will end up. It's a lot of work. We've did it with quite a small team. And yes, we are all excited about every mile, every kilometer we make through the dunes.
Dakar 1991, ma première victoire.
1991 was my first victory, he says.
Ça fait 40 ans que je fais du motorsport.
I've been in motorsport for 40 years, and finishing the Dakar 91 is the best memory of all of those years in motorsport. Best memories because after 4 years, I finally managed to win after an intense battle with the French rider Gilles Lelay and Thierry Magnaldi. In fact, the race I'd only dreamed of taking part in had become the race that I'd just won, and so the dream was more than accomplished.
Le rêve était plus que réalisé. Je la gagne.
I won it mainly before the rest day in Agadez. There the sandstorm kicked in, 150 kilometers from the finish, in fact, and we all lost the ideal track. The ideal track was disappearing as we went along because of the wind. Everyone tried to follow more or less the same route to Agadez, but I had the feeling that I'd lost this track and that it was more to the right. So instead of trying to continue on a medium heading without seing anything, I said to myself, no, I'm not going to do that. Take it a straight 90-degree angle and you'll find the track again. I found it again, and then I hung on to it, and I really didn't let go. I rode more slowly, of course, because there was a lot of sandstorm that day, and I arrived 45 minutes ahead of second and third place riders. I took the good option, he says. Victory on the rest day. Unfortunately, a few days later, I had a problem with my shock absorbers that broke.
Tout l'arrière de la moto est détruit, là. Le brossillon est cassé à ce niveau-là.
Well, the rear of the bike is destroyed. The swing arm is broken. I thought that I would lose even more time. I thought I would lose the lead of the rally, so 4-minute gap, not bad. So everything had to be redone. I managed to keep enough of the lead all the way to the end. Still today, I'll say that that way, in that case, was amazing. Biggest sporting day of my life. My first Dakar too, it was. Well, after struggling these last few days, Paulo Quintanilla hit back in style today by clinching his first stage of the Dakar. The Chilean moves up the standings, both on the Dakar and the FIM WR2C Championship. But the man in command is once again Ross Branch. The Botswana on his hero reconquers the lead. Branch now has a 1 minute and 14 advantage over Koneko and Brabec with 4 minutes. Well, the FAA T1 Glass Nasser Al Adaya claimed his first stage of the Dakar,
Saudi Arabia,
meaning precious points. But the man in command is, of course, local hero Yazid Al Raji. It promises to be a fierce battle between the Saudi and the Qatari, all the way to Yanbu. Less than 10 minutes between both great rivals.
By Jerome Roussel, Cross Country Rally Championship, the category manager.
And so what about tomorrow? Well, the crews start the 48-hour chrono stage. A 626-kilometre loop from Subatar. Well, tomorrow night, there won't be many other companions other than the camels. They set off in the morning into the empty quarter, a desert expanse the size of France. Think of that. When the clock strikes 4 p.m. local time, the competitors must stop at the end of 6 rest areas en route. You go to the nearest one. A night in a tent, then up the next morning to continue the stage. So preparations tonight are crucial. Tomorrow and the day after, the 6th stage of 2024 Dakar Rally. Quite simply, amazing. I'm Carlton Kirby. Stay safe.
Grosvenor Casinos sponsors Euro